So hopefully this audio is decent. This is my first time that I actually have connected my Cardo to the X3, which according to Google, the X3 and the Cardo Spirit should not be able to connect in any way. So we'll see how the audio turns out, considering the loud exhaust, and the wind noise in the Sedici Strada 3 Carbon is, in my opinion, terrible at over 60. So this time around, this is going to be a nice cruise down to the lake, one of my favorite spots to go and take pictures. On the bike, I've yet to take my car down there though. Although I probably, if I want to talk more, probably shouldn't be talking or gassing on every curve. This could be a much more cut down and shortened version for y'all on TikTok. There will be a longer version for YouTube, though this will be edited and trimmed down so I don't sound like a rambling idiot half the time, or if there's points where you just can't hear nothing, which I'm hoping is not half the time. I do want to get a better mount up here in the front, but I'm waiting on something for that, which is going to be a surprise for y'all. That'll be something cool for y'all to see once it comes in. I'll have that, and then I'll get to have a better POV up here, so it's more front of the bike, and y'all get to see me a little bit better. Because right now it looks like I'm talking to no one. And eventually I'm going to get a ride in with R7 Barry. He's my buddy on the R7 that y'all have seen a couple times. And we'll eventually get some comms from that, post a few funny clips hopefully. But today is kind of just a chill, relax ride out. And on the way back, I'm going to be gunning it, listening to music. Because that is one of the downsides to connecting your Cardo to the Spirit, to the X3, is that you can't listen to music. So instead, I get to ramble to myself like a crazy person until we get down there. But I'll post a few little bits and pieces where I'm not talking as much. It is from that BP that I started at, about a 15-20 minute ride out Molly's Creek, which is the end goal for this ride. I do want to try and start doing this more. It took me like 5 minutes to finally get my Cardo and my Spirit to connect, so that's probably the only thing that turns me away from doing this more often. Is it's just a pain to connect sometimes. I'll have them both in pairing and it just does not want to connect. But other than that, it's not terrible. Once again, hoping quality is decent. Sadly, for bike week, I think for me and R7 Barry are going to be, it's going to be canceled. Yesterday we hung out for probably a good hour or two, just sitting on the top of a parking garage, talking about it, looking at places to stay. But check the weather today, and it's pouring down rain all weekend, even though yesterday it was sunny and 80 is what it said it's going to be. So I guess we'll have to see. I'm going to check tomorrow morning again, throughout the day a little bit, and if it doesn't improve, I'm sadly going to have to call that off. And I'm sorry to those who I did say I was going to come out there and meet y'all if I did come out, because I don't want to ride in the rain. I don't like it. It's honestly a terrifying time. I only ever want to ride in the rain if I absolutely have to, which is going to be when my car is broken down, which I think is going to be decently often considering I got a BMW. But I will include that some in my channel as well, just because I do love that car, and I do want to get a lot of mods into it, and definitely get a lot faster. A lot of people take a stock 435i and take it from the stock 300 horsepower to pretty close to 400, 450. Obviously, that's a very eventual goal. BMW parts, one, just for maintenance are not cheap. I think it'll cost me about $60 in oil change, and I drive about 400 miles a week for work, because it's about 30 miles one way. So, and I do some driving in between there for just for go out and do something or to go see my girlfriend. And so that runs down the rest of my gas. Plus I like to run it in sport mode and shift manually. Once again, just something else to tank on the gas. But I have a lot of cosmetic mods that I want to do for it, as well as a lot of power mods, performance. My first one that I'm looking at doing performance-wise is going to be a charge pipe. I do plan to get my exhaust done on it, which is only going to cost maybe $100, $150, somewhere around there. It's pretty decent, pretty decently cheap muffler shop around me that does them, and honestly, if y'all live around here, I suggest them. It's Brad's Muffler in Camden. They've done a great job for my girlfriend. She has a Civic. She got her muffler and resonator taken out, and it sounds pretty good. And I plan to take the BMW there at some point. And then I've gotten, that was a big bug, some recommendations for more Mafia for bike tuning, which by the sounds of it I need to go. I'm not sure what's wrong. Apart from that, it's a pretty scenic view out here. I've definitely posted quite a few clips riding out this way. Some of them ended not as great as others, just because I got out here and the bike broke down, which is kind of the problem with buying a used bike off a marketplace. A decent amount of time you're gonna run into something. I mean, it's not hard for people to lie and be like, oh yeah, I changed my oil every 500 miles and then moved my chain every 100, whatever. Obviously an exaggeration, but you can't guarantee anything unless you know the people personally. I forgot I lowered my Insta360 and I thought it was gone. That scared me. But it is what it is. I've had this bike now since October of last year, and I've put right around 3,000 miles on it. But thankfully here in South Carolina, the weather's pretty nice, pretty comfortable most of the year, so it's not terrible for trying to go out and ride. I mean, I'm pretty sure, yeah, I rode on like New Year's Day and Christmas, so I guess that's one plus to coming here, is sometimes it's warmer. Downsides though would be terrible roads, terrible drivers. I mean, the amount of times I've been about hit by other people on the road is too many for only been riding close to 6 months now. Because I didn't get my permit until November. So I got like a week until I hit 6 months of riding. And I see a lot of people asking on TikTok, what do I start on? Do I start a 3, a 4, 500, 600, 1000? Honestly, it depends. If you know how to respect the machine, you can start on whatever. Personally, after riding a 600 here for a couple months now, I suggest a 600, just because you're not going to get stuck down there at the 400 or 500. You top out at 110, and your buddy who's on a 600 twists the throttle a little bit and he's already left you behind. This is another great place I like to stop, Colonel's Creek. I always like to get drinks and stuff there. It's nice little cool spot to calm down for a second. But back to the original topic. 600 I think is a good middle. Obviously, it's the middle of all, but you know, take it slow, ride your ride. I mean, what everybody else says, yeah, you can't really go wrong with a lot of that advice. That's about as good as it gets. I tried to go out and ride with one of my buddies back when I first bought it, I think. That would be bad. But I rode with him after only consistently riding for maybe a couple weeks, and I wasn't really comfortable. I hadn't done over 30, hadn't gotten past second or third, and he was trying to push me to give it a pull. Granted, I did, and I hated it. I was mad at him. I did not want to be around him because of how he kind of forced me into trying to ride faster. Because I hadn't really been down the road that we were going, so I didn't know where I was at, one, and two, he was leaving me. So I was almost like forced to speed up. And it kind of ruined it for me in that moment. I just was not enjoying it. And I mean, I still rode. I just let him and refused to ride with him, and he refused to ride with me because I was inexperienced, which, I mean, I told him that I had only been riding for a little bit. He's not going to get much out of me. So, but we've ridden a couple times together since. But he rides a CRF 450, which is just a street legal dirt bike. It gets up there pretty quick, but it kind of tops out at about 90. So after I hit about 90, he can't do much, and he gets speed wobbles at about 80. So him riding with me is never really enjoyable. For him, mostly. I mean, I get to zoom around and then slow down and let him catch up. But we are coming up to our stop. I feel kind of bad, but my bike's acting up, and I can't really go much slower without it like wanting to put out. I gotta fix it. That's another problem. Which honestly, I'm almost glad that I can't go to Bike Week because I need to work this out. Originally, I thought it was just because my exhaust was loose. I fixed that. That was no longer the problem. So at this point, I'm kind of at a loss. It runs fine once I get past a certain RPM, but anything under that, it kind of just doesn't sound happy. As you can tell, it kind of wants to sputter for a second before going, and I'm trying to figure out how to fix that. And this is like the middle area where it rides like it's kind of fun. It'll power band a certain way and it'll pull. So, we'll see. I mean, it's definitely rideable. It's not gonna... I'm not gonna say it actually. No. That's a bad idea. But this is Molly's Creek. It's a great spot. It's good. It's decent for fishing too. They do have a nice like beach area as well. That sometimes can be nice to go out to. But I'm gonna do a little loop around. I'm gonna change my Clardo back over to my phone because I'm gonna listen to some music and book it back home for the fun of it. Alright, well, that concludes our ride out to the lake.